Good evening. Welcome to the May 25th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If you'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And welcome for coming or tuning in. We do have a somewhat abbreviated agenda tonight. Just so everyone knows, there is a budget meeting this evening in the Massabesic Middle School cafeteria, the RSU 57 budget meeting. It's at 7 p.m., so you still have time to get there if you want to get there. That meeting is a budget meeting that then 2 weeks from today you'll be voting on in the form of a referendum ballot. So if you have an interest in funding for the schools, I would suggest that you head towards the Massabesic Middle School for the 7 o'clock meeting. And I'm sure it'll be very cool there too.
Did you want to just share what the budget is going to be if
For the total budget, or
The
the
Waterboro
budget for the
portion.
Waterboro portion? Be my guest.
they're looking for the Waterboro share, the total appropriated by town for Waterboro would be $12.8 million. What the town would be responsible for once you back out state revenues would be $6.4 million. So if folks want to say in that $6.4 million that's going to hit your tax bills, I would strongly suggest you make your way over to the middle school this evening.
And I believe that is up from $6,100,000 that we are currently, is our share, so it's up about $300,000 from this current budget year.
Does that figure include adult education?
Yes.
It does? That's usually separate, because it depends on, I can't remember which article they
Oh,
usually
you know what?
have.
It's not, because it is that's...
It's a separate article, I
Yeah.
believe.
Last
But
year, I
doesn't-
knew
but
it
it's
was...
the whole budget.
It was around $74,000, I think. On
So
top of that.
That would put us both closer to 6.5 million.
Yep.
But the impact for this year is only, what, 7-point-something%, isn't it? Above,
For the total budget. The increase for the total budget, tax-wise, right?
right.
And that's represents probably, what did they say for the town of Waterboro?
I think it's more like 9.5 for
Right.
the town of Waterboro. I think it's 7.5 for all the 6 towns, but I think it's around 9 for Waterboro.
Did they break that down in that flyer?
Yep. No, they just broke it up by value,
Yeah,
actually.
okay.
I think it just said roughly a 7.5%
Yeah,
increase.
for the grand total, right? Anyway, if you have an interest, 7 o'clock, Massabesic Middle School. What else? Don't forget, June 8th, 2 weeks from today, is the municipal election, state primary election for gubernatorial candidates. There will be a statewide referendum vote on numerous articles, and there will be a town set of referendum votes for 3 referendum votes. One is an expenditure of bond money. 2 is, does the town want to establish a charter commission? And 3 is, does the town want to implement a pay per bag or tag a bag program for the municipal transfer station? So it would be nice to see a significant turnout. 2 weeks from today, we have typically a big turnout at town municipal elections is 600 or 700 voters. Would be nice to see a couple of thousand turnout for this one. So, and you get to choose, depending on whether you're a registered Democrat or a registered Republican, between 4 and 7 candidates for governor. So, any other announcements? All right. We have no appointments. Hearing a delegation. Joe, anything? Town administrators report.
I have a couple of things. We've had a request several times from department head who's coming in to meet with the selectmen about having tables for them to lay their notebooks on or when people are coming in. Pete is building some,
Oh, great.
Okay.
so we'll eventually, he was sanding today, so I don't know if he started staining urethane, but we'll be moving this front row and putting 2 tables there, and we're going to see how they go together. We might even move the podium so that people can come up and sit at the table.
Okay.
The warrant. Before I went out, I made copies of the warrant, and I gotta make copies for town meeting. Do you want, I made one that was a smaller version. Is that gonna be sufficient, or do you want the bigger ones?
For those who might be visually challenged, like I was when I forgot my glasses, it was a little hard to read.
Okay, I'll go with the
Yeah.
other size then. Make them on 11 by 17, and they'll be booklet.
I was thinking maybe you could reduce it further.
It doesn't reduce the cost just
No, it
because the print's smaller.
Well, saves a little ink, saves a few trees.
And it's on the agenda later on, but the insurance bids, I had some questions, and I contacted both bidders, and one of them I just heard back well, actually, both of them I heard back this afternoon. So I haven't really sat down to compare the two from the questions that I had given both of them. So I probably won't be ready for recommendation until next week. I know I won't be ready till next week.
Any questions? First of all, I guess, welcome back, Nancy, first of all.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that we're right at the right time of year to make up for all that time that you had off by
Yeah, right.
extra hours during the week, so. Anything from the selectmen to report?
Yeah, I do have one thing.
Okay.
I'd like to comment on a situation I saw up at Pheasant Run. I was coming down through there, this is about a week ago, and I noticed on the side of the road, somebody had dumped, it looked like 4 or 5 computer monitors right on the side of the road there. Somebody up there has some pride in their community, because a couple of days later on by and they were gone. So somebody picked them up, and I can only assume, or I'd like to assume, that it was somebody in the area up there who lives there, but it might possibly have been the town's road crew, I don't know. But they have been picked up, and you familiar with that, are you?
They were brought in.
They were brought in by a citizen?
Citizen.
Good, very good. You know, and if, unfortunately, somebody didn't have the civic pride enough to bring it to the transfer station, because I think that, you know, because there's a fee involved in disposing of those type of items, I would think that if, it would probably be in the best interest of the town that if they were to go there and somebody just does not have the money to do it, you know, I think would be more than happy to just take them, just so that they don't end up as wildlife sanctuaries for chipmunks along the side of the road.
Also, state law that says that they have to be handled as universal waste.
Right.
So anybody that disposes of computer equipment, TVs and whatnot, without doing the proper disposal routine, which is at the transfer station, is in violation of state law. And I think it's fair to say that should we determine who dumped it, then we will certainly have the contract deputy give them a visit, and we do prosecute to the fullest extent of the law. But I think, you know, that goes to the argument of, does a paper bag or pay-as-you-throw system drive stuff into the woods? Well, any fee kind of drives some of that behavior, but interesting to say the least. Okay, new business. Discuss vote accept resignation from the Economic Development Committee. We have a resignation from Diane Holden. What is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion that we accept the resignation with regret. Diane has been a very active, vibrant member of that community. She is pretty much the one who compiled the book on all of the commercial properties in town that are available, and that took a great deal of effort. She's been the secretary, has been very diligent in keeping us on task. She has a lot on her plate. She recently has become project manager for the Grange restoration in East Waterboro, and she's also been appointed to the 2020 Comprehensive Committee, and I respect that she recognizes she can't give her full attention to everything. So she will be missed on that committee.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I would also echo those comments. I know that she's done some work for me in the background that often goes unnoticed, and but it's certainly not underappreciated. And she's been a staunch supporter of many things in this community for years. So
Certainly has. So there's only so much time in a day or in a week, so she's made her choices, I believe. So, any other discussion? All those in favor? So that is a spot that was the realtor.
Yep. And that is not effective until June 30th. She's
Okay.
going to stick out the month of June.
Yep. Okay, so we will be looking for a replacement there. All right, old business, discuss vote to award insurance bid. I guess, Nancy, based on what you just said, we will defer that till next week. And just make sure that both parties know that. Because I think we did say last week that we would work it this week. Map 41, lot 13.
first of all, my apologies to Bob Gobiel, because John and I just have gone up there. It was kind of spur of the moment. We happened to meet here at the town hall, and early today, and we went up. And I know that Bob, as a member of the Parks Committee, had asked that he be present. We'd probably be going back up, and I would certainly, welcome you going up there, because I don't think that we really accomplished anything today other than becoming a little more confused with the language that's in the deeds, and we found pipes all over the place. And I guess we've sort of come to the conclusion that we probably need a little more expertise than we have between the two of us. If I'm, not speaking out of turn, John certainly can speak for himself. But, we found several pipes, but we really couldn't coordinate them with the 3 pages of the deed description that we had to work with. And we did meet the owner of the land up there, and he said he's been paying taxes on it. Of course, we thanked him for that. But he said he had it surveyed, and he was going to be digging out his copy of the surveying reports and make them available to us, and maybe that will assist us in finding the exact points. But the rebar that you mentioned, Bob, we found that on the corner approximately 75 feet from the center of the dam. But we're not sure exactly whether we should have started at the center of the dam at one point, or whether the measurements start from that post, or just what. So we're gonna have to, like I
The
said,
post is, it's pretty doggone close to the center of the dam, that post. So the question is where does it go from there? But someone that's used to the language of moving southwesterly in the northeast direction from the northwest side of the road.
34,
if you
34
can figure
degrees,
that
12
one out.
minutes,
So stay tuned.
So
Yeah, right,
I hate
We'll be
to, I
back.
hate to put this off again, because it's been on, our agenda week after week, but, it's not that we haven't done anything with it, we are actively working on it. It's just that we can't put it to rest right now because I don't think that we have the expertise to do that, to give it the justice that it deserves. I mean, the complaint was rendered by a citizen of this community, and I think that we have an obligation, to give him the best possible decision that we can that, benefits not only that person, but it places the town in a position where we can answer any future inquiries regarding that piece of property.
All right. Discuss pay-as-you-throw or tag-a-bag policy. The reason I kind of plugged this on here was, I think it was last week's meeting, there's still some concern from the commercial haulers' perspective that the board has not addressed whether or not they will be allowed to haul tagged bags or whatever the case may be into the transfer station. I think we've had numerous discussions around that as long as they comply, and I think they all, one evening at a workshop here, said that they would all comply with whatever the program was, but we haven't put that to bed, so they're trying to plan for, am I going to be able to, am I not going to be able to haul into the transfer station? So I offer that up to, we really need to kind of add that to our policy.
But, yeah, and I thought we had dealt with that, but I would certainly move that all commercial haulers that are hauling Waterboro household waste in bags that conform in size and 40 pounds and under, 40 gallons and under, that are tagged, be accepted at the transfer station.
I'll second that.
And that's only if the pay-as-you-throw program passes.
Well, the question is that what happens if it doesn't pass as well, okay? We have already taken a stance with regard to any commercial waste that we would, or any waste that goes to EcoMaine, that we would not pay for unless it was in a Waterboro container. So the question is that if we don't have a tagged system, are they still allowed to come in and dump their trash into, as long as it's Waterboro household waste, do they dump it in the transfer station? So I'm not sure that there's a caveat. If the pay per tag or tag system passes, they're going to have to comply with that. The question is do they continue to haul in if the tag system doesn't pass?
I guess my thought on it is, if the tag system does not pass, we are still forced to find ways to reduce the cost at the transfer station. And how are we going to do that if the tag doesn't pass?
Yeah.
And one opportunity that we may have is to no longer accept any waste from commercial haulers.
Yeah, I agree with that. We're gonna have to find money somehow, and that adds to our cost. So I would say that depends on the vote. We'll be back. I wouldn't make any decision on that and just say it's as we are now. We're not accepting commercial hauled trash, and we won't unless this is passed, or we meet later on afterwards and make another decision.
Well, just to clarify, we have a policy today that allows commercial haulers to dispose of household waste at the transfer station. There's nothing that precludes them from doing that. They have to have a license or tag, right? The reason that D&E doesn't haul in there, because we have afforded him over the years to haul directly to EcoMaine. But that was his choice to do that rather than tie up the transfer station, right? But we've got 2, 3, 4 other folks that haul commercially household waste that come in there today. So I would agree that if we have to make an adjustment, then we have to deal with that. I'm not sure that we can say that happens on July 1st, right? So if we move forward and say, okay, if the tag per bag system gets passed, then, you know, they're, as long as everything is in there compliant with the system, which is the motion on the floor, right? Then they're allowed to bring the waste in. Should that not pass, then we're gonna have to bring some other action up to stop them from hauling in, if that's the case.
We have a meeting before July 1st.
I agree.
So, you know, we can,
We're gonna have
we can
Two
have-
meetings, three
deal with
meetings
it then.
before July 1st, so.
And I mean, and I'm torn about doing that because I know that it has an impact in a couple of different ways if you exclude them from the transfer station at all, if this doesn't pass. But I think we just need to lay all of our cards on the table that we're going to have to find ways of reducing costs at the transfer station if the pay-as-you-throw doesn't pass.
Okay. So the motion is, as long as they comply with the pay tag system, they're allowed to bring in the commercially hauled household waste. Okay, everybody all set with that?
Yep.
All those in favor? Opposed? We'll have to deal with it if something doesn't happen. Okay? And I think that's really all they're asking for, is tell me where we stand, so. All right, other information, warrants and bills for payroll.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Discuss the vote to sign minutes of 5:11 and 5:18.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Pending decisions, do you want to drop down map 41, lot 13 into that until we have
Yeah.
some definition?
Yeah, until we,
I guess you can get over there again.
if we can figure something out by getting
Maybe
a
we
copy of his survey report,
Maybe
or,
get Patty to come with us. She's probably a little bit more language savvy for
So you
that stuff.
guys need some guidance, in
Huh?
other words. You need some guidance.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, on dealing with deed language.
All right. Week's action list, I did talk to Nancy, she's going to take care of the Fred bill that should have been paid a couple of weeks ago. That's, I don't think the communication got transferred. Discussion of agenda items, we got the legal opinion on the tower lease we need to resolve. I think that was still up in the air as of the other day, because I think our attorney's saying that both parties should sign it from the town, both the town and the land trust. I think the Mariner Tower guy is saying, well, no, I don't think that that's the case. So anyway, I think it's in the, he was going to talk to Ken.
He's on vacation. Louis is gone for the next couple of weeks, and that's why it was being put off.
Okay.
And when he returns,
Right.
he'd like to sit down with the selectmen and the land trust.
So I guess if that's the case, then we'll wait for his return and not put it on next week, but just keep, if nothing else, I think we need to put the tower lease in the pending decisions. All right,
We're still on pending decisions.
yeah?
Can we get an update from the code enforcement on the status of the dock situation on 202, excuse
Well-
me, Route 5?
Why don't we just bring her back in as an appointment,
Okay.
okay? So I'll have Patty, do we need Jerry, or are we all set with Jerry? Because it
I
was,
think Jerry still had a piece to finish,
right,
too.
so why don't we say Patty and Jerry, all right? We'll put them on as an appointment. Trying to remember what, and Pam's not here, what we do have, we got kind of the goals update that we talked about. We need to set up an executive session, which we'll do for kind of a midterm performance appraisal for the admin. We kind of debated a couple of weeks ago on E911 signs. I think we've got the hour policy out. Joe's been gracious enough to poke around and find out what some of the other policies are. Our policy is a little bit ambiguous relative to new roads, other than if it's a development. If it's a development, it says that, you know, the sign goes up, you know, and it's part of the application for the individual. Doesn't say that, hey, I got a road, I want to name it. Does the town pay for the first sign and then every other sign after that? So we probably need to deal with that, because as we name or approve names of,
I think that what we're doing now, I believe, is putting the first sign up anyway. And so, you know, I think, you know, the question is as to whether it's hauled down or whether you put it back up again.
right.
But I think, you know, I think for uniformity and that first sign, the town should be responsible for.
So we'll just bring it back up to make sure that if we got to add something to the policy, we can add something to the policy. I think it's an ordinance at this point.
I had an idea for next week as well.
Yeah,
Being the last week before the referendum questions, I thought maybe next week would be a good exercise in us all jotting down a few thoughts on each one of the referendum questions, and then during the meeting, talk about those questions with each one of us giving, you know, our views on what we think of the referendum, and then if we jot them down afterwards, David could post them on the website.
I think it's a good idea.
okay. So we'll just plug that in for, I guess, reports. We got the sheriff is coming in, so we can do that as part of the selectmen's reports.
I'd like to find the status update, too, of the telephone bill.
Oh, yeah.
That's been on the, I don't know whether insurance is covering it, the phone company, or,
No, I expect a call that they want to start negotiating the price.
because we're approaching the 1-year mark on that.
The only other thing, and we can talk about that with, relative to the request we've got from an employee for help or hours or whatever, so we can set that up for next week as well. What else? I think that is it.
Yep.
Items needing signature, warrants and bills for payroll in both sets of the minutes. Reminder to anybody, you still have time, it's half hour from now, is the RSU 57 budget meeting at Massabesic Middle School cafeteria. Land Trust, meeting tomorrow, 7 PM here. Library trustees, 7 PM at the library. Old Home Days Committee to Town Hall tomorrow, 7 PM. And then next week, June 1st, meeting at, here, and reporting will be the sheriff. So with that all being said, I would entertain a motion.
I will move that we adjourn and
Second.
head to the middle school.
All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you and good night.